Welcome to Tuesday class. I want to remind you that tomorrow you do have class. You'll have a substitute named Tracy who will be in with you. You'll need to hand in for tomorrow problem set 3 revisions if you haven't already, and problem set 4. You picked up problem set 4 last class, and you'll have some time to work on that today. There will be a few problems on problem set 4 that Tracy will teach you tomorrow. So I've decided that instead of making it due tomorrow, which was the original plan, I'll collect it Thursday when I come to class. So please start problem set 4 for tomorrow, but I'll collect it Thursday when I am back, and by then you'll have all the material that you need in order to be successful on it. Okay? You're also going to hand in to Tracy the packet of materials that you picked up last week, that you stapled together and that you did most of yesterday. Okay? I'll be having her collect that tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get a chance to grade it when I get back into town late Wednesday night. No promises, but I'm going to do my best. So today we're going to look at a couple of things. First thing I want you to know about is that you do need to work on your problem set 4. Okay? Next thing, you have a quiz tomorrow. Tracy will be giving you a quiz. So you have this handout that you picked up, Quiz 4 Review. You will want to go through, work through this quiz, and then you'll want to check your answers online. Okay? The next thing that you're going to do, and I'm going to guide you through this right now, and you'll do this on your own following my instructions, is this study skill sheet. Okay, we have an exam coming up next week, Tuesday. And to prepare for the exam, I'm going to have you watch 2 videos, How to Study for an Exam. Generally, I encourage students to start studying for an exam about a week before the exam. So it's Tuesday. Your exam is Tuesday. So you're going to go to www.youtube.com/user-math-study-skills. And I have that website up behind me. Okay? The first one you see here is How to Study for an Exam. So I'm going to click on that. And this is what you're going to watch. I'm not going to play it right now for you because you have the link on your paper, and you can watch that on your own and fill this out. So take a break right now and go ahead and do that. Okay, make sure you fill out the questions that correspond. On the other side, you'll see how to overcome math and test anxiety. So you're going to find that video by scrolling down. You see here where it says Math and Test Anxiety? Please click on that. And watch this video and answer the questions. Okay, so now you know about this, you know about the review sheet, you know about what Tracy's going to expect from you tomorrow. There's one other thing that I'm going to have you be working on right now, and that is the energy project. Okay, so I'm going to take you into Canvas, and I'm going to navigate what you're going to need to do for this. Okay, so if you go to week 4 in Canvas, you'll notice there's a passage that says Energy Sources Assignment. Okay, this is what you're going to click on. This describes what the Energy Sources Assignment is. Okay, so what you do is you read this. It says there are many different sources of energy. We all have opinions about what is best. And one of your readings from this week talked about renewable and non-renewable and energy conservation. So you're going to read through those. You'll read through some of the websites I'm providing as well, and you're going to make an opinion. So we all have opinions about what is best, and these are developed according to your values and your financial circumstances. Using the links, What Do You Approve Of, and Renewable Energy Wiki, write a 5 to 7 sentence paragraph describing what energy source or sources you approve of and why. So you must submit this through Canvas. You'll notice that it has a due date of August 1st, so you'll need this done by then. So I'm encouraging you right now, since it's class time, to go ahead and do it. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what you're going to get graded on for it, so please make sure that it's typed and submitted online. It needs to be 5 to 7 sentences. I'm going to be looking that your approved energy source is stated clearly. That means that I know what energy source you're talking about is best, and that you're giving clear reasons of why you feel that way. So this describes how I'm going to be grading you on that. So to go ahead and submit this, I'll show you how that works. Okay, I've just navigated into Student View, so you're going to go to Modules. From Modules, you'll go to Week 4. Okay, you'll click on Energy Sources Assignment. And it gives you the directions. And you have a button that says Submit Assignment. So when you click on that button, it'll bring you to this page. So either you can upload a file by text, or you can choose a file. So probably what you want to do is you want to click Text Entry. And here, if you're ready to write, you can write your response. If you've made your response on a different file, you can choose File here, and then find whatever file it is you want to attach. Okay, in order to get information for it, there are 2 links right below the energy sources. One says Renewable Energy Wiki and What Do You Approve Of. You can use these sources, you can use your textbook, or you can use other sources of your choice. If you use other sources, please make sure you indicate what the source is so that I can verify it. Okay, so this is the next project you're going to be working on. The last thing I'm going to do with you today, and I know it seems a lot shorter than yesterday's, but you do have problem set 4 to work on, which is something you didn't have, and problem set revisions. Is I'm going to talk to you about percents, decimals, and fractions. So I'm going to blank out the screen here. And we're just going to spend some time talking about what percents are to begin with. So you should be having in your notebook, you should have a section that's called percents, decimals, and fractions, and you need to write the corresponding page number that goes with that. Okay, so what percents are is percents mean out of 100. So imagine that you have a block with 10 pieces, right? So this block has 100 squares about. Well, it has 100 squares. They're not all equal, but pretend they're equal. If I were to shade in 10 of these, I would have 10 out of 100 shaded, right? If I were to shade in 24 of these, I would have 24 out of 100. So this is the meaning of percent. So this would be 24%, or 24 out of 100. Okay? We can write that a couple of ways. So we've just seen it as a fraction, right? This is a fraction, and this is my percent. We can also write this as a decimal. Think about this number. We would read this 24 hundredths. When you think of place value, here's our decimal point. We have our tenths place over here, and our hundredths place over here, and our ones place, and our tens place, right? So if I were to write 24 hundredths, look at what that would look like. Right there, right? So 24 hundredths. So all three of these are equal. They're all ways that we can write 24%. Okay, let's try this with another one. We're going to look at if we have something instead that says 36%. So if we make this into a fraction, percent means out of 100, so I would have 36 out of 100. If I wanted to make this a decimal, this says 36 hundredths, right? 36 100ths. So think of my place value. I want my 6 in my hundredths place, so I would read this 36 hundredths, right? This is my hundredths place and my tenths place. Okay, let's try one more here. If I have 0.5, so percent. This means in my block, half of one square is shaded, just half of one. We could also call this 1/2%. Okay, what this means is that we have 0.5 out of 100. Well, that might look confusing to you, right? Because fractions don't usually have a decimal in it. But remember how we also said that a fraction bar is division sign? So let's look at this. If we put the 0.5 inside of the division bar, because it's on top and it falls over into there, divided by 100, 100 doesn't go into 5, so I'm going to add some zeros. 100 doesn't go into 50, but 100 goes into 500 5 times. So 5 times 100 is 500. Now, I need to put my decimal place up there and put these placeholding zeros in there because 100 didn't go into 5 and it didn't go into 50. Okay, so this is how I was able to get the decimal version of this. If I wanted to make this 0.5 over 100 into a proper fraction, I need to get rid of this decimal, right? If I get rid of this decimal, I move it one place to the right to make that 5. And if I move that, guess what? I have to on the lower number 2. So that one would become 1,000. So that would be my fraction. I'm not going to have you worry about reducing fractions at this point, but you will learn that after the midterm. Okay, so you're going to be doing today an assignment where you're going to be converting decimals, percentages, and fractions. And you're going to be using mixtures to do this. So we're going to look at percentages of mixtures. So percentages of mixtures. If we have, a mixture is 46.5% water, or I'm sorry, 46.5% sugar and the rest is water. What percent is water? Okay. So if we're looking at this situation, we know that the whole mixture would be what percentage? Yeah, the whole mixture would be 100%, right? And we know that 46.5% is sugar. And the 100 is the total mixture. So if we want to know how much is water, what operation do you think we're going to do? We're going to subtract. So we're going to put a decimal. We're going to make sure our decimals are lined up here, and a 0, and we're going to subtract. So change the 0 to a 10 and borrow from the 100, make that a 99. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. And bring our decimal straight down. So that means that it's 53.5% water. So that means if this is my whole solution, my 100% water, my 100% solution, that a little over half of it, 53.5%, is water, and the rest is sugar. So that is my 46.5%. Okay. We're going to do another mixture problem. I'll just move over to the board next to me for a second. So let's say a mixture is 20% milk, and 20% sugar. The rest is water. What percent is water? Okay. So my mixture here, I have 20% is milk, 20% is sugar, and the rest is water. So together, the milk and the sugar are 40%, and we know our total here is 100%. So if we have 100 minus 40, we get 60% water. So hopefully that makes sense to you. There's going to be problems like that on the assignment for you to do. The assignment is also going to have you switch back and forth between percents, decimals, and fractions. So what I'd like you to do is make sure you're taking this down in your notes. First, we're going to go from a percent to a decimal. Okay. So we have 60%. If we want to change it to a decimal, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where the decimal place is, which right now, the decimal place is right here after the 60. And the rule is first we remove the percent. Okay. After we remove the percent, the second step is we divide by 100. If you remember from yesterday, this means we move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay. So we're going to move it 1, 2. So our new number is going to be 0.60. So 60% is 0.60. Let's try this with a few others. So go ahead and try these two in your note, 3.7% and 135%. Go ahead, take a minute and see if you can change those two decimals. So if you've done it, to move our decimal 2 places, to divide by 100, because remember percent means out of 100, right? So it's dividing by 100. We're going to move our decimal 2 places to the left, and we're going to get 0.037 for the first answer. For the second one, our decimal place starts after the 5. To change it to a decimal, we move 2 places over, to get 1.35. Hopefully that's nice and clear. We can also change from percents to fractions. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on right now. So if we have 50%, that means 50 out of 100, or 50 out of 100. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the percent. Second thing, we're going to put the number over 100. So if we have 50%, it's 50 over 100. Okay. Let's try this for two more. 34% and 130%. So for 34%, you should have come up with 34 over 100. For 130%, 130 over 100. So I know some of you know how to reduce fractions, and if you know how to and you're comfortable, feel free to do that. I'm not going to require anyone to do that until we cover it. So we just have one more part to talk about right now, and this is going from fractions to percent. Okay, so when we go from fractions to percent, we're going to take it and divide. So if we have 1/2, what we're going to do is change it to a decimal. So first, we're going to change it to a decimal. And to do that, we divide. So top number goes inside the division bar. 1 divided by 2. 2 does not go into 1, so I put my decimal and my 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. We have none left over. Make sure I bring up my decimal point and my 0 there. So I have 0.5. Okay, so that brings it to, now I have my fraction as a decimal. Now, my second step after I get it to a decimal is I'm going to change the decimal to a percent. And to do that, if you recall, we're going to move our decimal places 2 places to the right this time instead of to the left, because to change, to go from a percent to a decimal, we moved it to the right. So we're going to make it a percent. We're going to move 2 places to the right. So if we have 0.5 and we move 2 decimal places to the right, that becomes 50%. That makes sense that 1/2 is 50% and it's 0.5. We're going to try a couple more of these right now. So we're going to start with 3/8. So if we want to change 3/8 into a decimal, we would do 3 divided by 8, right? 8 goes into 3, it doesn't, so I put a decimal point and a 0. 8 goes into 30, 3 times, correct? And that's 24. I subtract and I get 6. I can continue to go, add another 0, bring it down, make sure my decimal point comes up. Okay, 8 goes into 60, 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. When I subtract, I get 4. I bring down another 0. 8 goes into 40, 5 times. So that makes my decimal 0.375. Okay. Now I'm going to change my decimal 0.375 into a percent like I talked about here. So to move it to a percent, I move my decimal 2 places to the right to get 37.5%. And that's going to be my answer. Okay, so what you're going to do now is you're going to practice this. You're going to take the sheet that says percents and mixture practice, and you're going to work through them. The top section is like the first problems we did, where you have a mixture made of two things. So here's salt and water, and you're going to figure out how much water is in the mixture. So here you assume that the mixture is 100%. So let's look at that. That one says a saltwater mixture is 8.4% salt. What percent of the mixture is water? So if we have that much salt and the whole thing is 100%, right? We're going to line up our decimal points and we're going to subtract. So we subtract here. We get 91.6%. So does it make sense that 91.6% plus 6.4% would give you 100? Yeah, that makes sense. So this is your answer for the first one. Okay. For the second part, they're asking you down here, if you have a mixture of 40% carbon, 30% oxygen, and blank percent hydrogen. So first thing you need to do is figure out how much hydrogen that you have. So you're going to do that similarly to what we just did on the board over here. Okay. After that, you're going to write each of these as a decimal or a fraction or a percentage, depending on what it asks for. So here, they're giving you carbon is 40%. They want to see how you'd write that as a fraction and as a decimal. So please work through these right now. There's also more practice on this as part of your week 2 homework, so make sure that you do that. So this is the end of the video for today, for Tuesday. I hope that you have taken notes on everything the last couple days. Tracy, the sub, will know the answers to some questions, but not others. She'll know the math, but I can't guarantee she'll know everything about my class. So what she'll be doing with you tomorrow is she'll be giving you a quiz, and then she'll be talking to you about things like multiples, factors, prime factorization, prime and composite numbers. Okay? You're going to be turning into her a number of things. You're going to turn in your packets, including what you did today, to her. Then you'll turn in problem set 3 if you haven't already. And you should also have finished your quiz review, because you'll have your quiz. And get started on problem set 4. Problem set 4 is due on Thursday when I'm back. Okay? On Thursday, we're going to be doing a lab most of the class. There will be some time at the beginning for questions, but otherwise we're going to launch right into doing a lab on physical properties. So I hope you guys have a good day. If you have questions, you can email me.